Yeah. Someone what that girl know that dirt. Yeah. Yo, if I were podcasting, it would be insane. Knowledge flowing like the sweetest rain. Professor Bear on the mic, spreading wisdom wide. A bear's thoughts, that's my pride, can't hide.
With the voices in your ear, changing the game.
If I rule podcasting, every thought we'd ignite. In a world of chatter, we'll spark in the fight. With Professor Bear, we're climbing to new heights. A Bear's thoughts podcast, shining bright in the night. Topics from the heart, never sounding the same. God laughs and debates, never dull or bland. From culture to tech, take you by the hand. Join the ride with us, feel the vibe expand. With every episode, we shine that
beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
So tune in, don't miss what we got to share. If I rule podcasting, I spread the love everywhere.
Welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening. I am Professor Bear, and this is the Bear's Thoughts. Guys, girls, 2026 has been an amazing year already, but I don't lie to you, so I'm going to tell y'all, I had some guests scheduled for yesterday, but Professor hit the wall. I needed that day to get my energy back up. I definitely apologize to my guests. We gonna work it out where they are gonna be on the show, so don't worry about that. But since I am back and want that same type of energy, I decided when I thought about doing this, I got to have people that were willing to take a chance on me and WSN. They knew nothing about me, and when I reached out, they were more than happy to have me come on their shows and plug WSN to find out what we were all about. And I was like, you know what? I have to give that love back and show them how much I appreciate them giving me a chance. So I had to go out and get my brother from another mother. You know, me and him, I've had some fun, amazing things to say about my guest, but this particular guest, I mean, he's been there damn near since day one. Anytime he comes up with something, he thinks it'll be a good look for all of us. He's reaching out. And again, sometimes doing this podcasting thing, we get taken on a different road that we didn't necessarily look at. So me and him hadn't talked in a good minute or two, but this was a good reason to come back together to see how my brother's doing and just let him shine like he always do.
Thank you, Professor Bear.
Man, go ahead and tell them about you.
Oh man, for those of you who haven't seen me in a long while from the WSN, I'm Shiz Blackheart Lansky. I am the founder, creator, and director of the OTTR network, the Arthur Roast Network. We are simulcasting now it's not exclusive from there, but also to the Hardcore Sports Network. Shout out to Mitch. It's also located on YouTube as well. But we got tons of other stuff that's going on, stuff like that. But we're coming back with a season premiere next week, Royal Rumble week, as you guys all know. We're coming back. The Barman Show is now getting a new look, a new little, little cleanup, little mess. Next Friday night, me at SmackDown, the boys, the Barman is back. But I'm also breaking the news now that particular season premiere, we're gonna have a collabo show with none other than Black Arts Angels themselves. Starring Binky and Lady B will also be along with the Barman that night for a season premiere show, and the rest of the Asylum is coming back January 31st at 11 a.m. on the OTTR and Hardcore Sports Network. But not less of that. I mean, it's just us just doing the regular shenanigans of wrestling podcasting and giving y'all the flavors, the highest topics, with the I guess the off the wall fucking antics and comedy that we do on our respectable shows. But that's next week. I'm back after we was on a break since right before Thanksgiving. We took our season break, so we needed to kind of unplug, be with our families. Holiday time. That's usually what we have to do as humans. I guess I don't want to get into too deep into this, but I'll fast as fast as I can. My uncle had passed away on Thanksgiving. So that kind of like messed up like a lot of things. So for those several weeks leading up to the funeral, I wasn't myself. So I was worse after the burial was over. Moving forward, Christmas just wasn't really the same. So I just kind of was just doing me and stuff like that. I lost a job. I gained a job. Got back on my feet this way. And now I'm just on the bench until when that actually starts. But until then, it was just like consolidate your time to doing what you need to do within 24 hours. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to actually be behind a microphone and behind a computer screen to actually, see what's been going on in wrestling for the last, nearly 60 days since I've been off the grid. Maybe more than that, mentally. Shizzy. But yeah, it's been an up and down roller coaster for the last few months. But I'm back though. God willing, God is walking me through this path to redemption, revelation, and a better understanding of what life really means. So I'm still kind of walking that journey right now as we speak. So I love you, Uncle Mike. I miss you so much, man. My Tony Soprano in my life. So
man, I did not know. I'm definitely sorry for your loss.
My God.
As you always know, if you need something, you just let me know and I'll be there.
Thank you, man.
So I'm gonna start with the question I ask all my guests. How did you become a wrestling fan?
Wrestling or wrestling? Which one is it?
Wrestling.
Because I'm a northern boy. You're a southern. You're a southern boy. So we have that different ideologies of what wrestling or wrestling means. So that's why I had to ask first. But just to answer just the overall question, my mom, God rest her soul too. Some people's gonna roll over in their graves about this. She was a Hulk Hogan fan. When it was coming around, especially when the WWE was in the Northeast, New York, Boston, Connecticut, doing house shows and that type of stuff. She would know we would want to go. When I came into the mix, I think realistically, it was just in the DNA. I just got it from her. But realistically, in human form wise, it was definitely the weekend show that they did, I think in 1991, where she took me there when it was just me and her. This was before she had her multiple sclerosis had gotten worse and stuff like that. That she was able to walk and be like a human. She took me to a wrestling show. And I remember we was in the bleacher seats. I'd never seen wrestling before. Go through all the rest of the card, but the main event is what stuck out to me. Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker for the WWE title in the body bag match. And even though I don't know necessarily the finish, but all I remember was Hulk Hogan still wins, but Undertaker chokes him out and power drives him and puts him in the bag and walks him over the shoulder to the back. And I hear the PA system announce that that's the end of the show. Thank you. To have a good night. Please get home safe. And that's when you see everyone started getting up and started walking away. And that was that. And that very moment when I saw Undertaker do that, I was hooked. Because not only I wasn't a Hulk Hogan person, everyone else was. Undertaker struck me because he was tall, he was broody, he didn't say much, but he went in there, he kicked ass, and it felt like he was invincible, he was unstoppable. At least someone didn't have to lose. But to me, I think it was just I think it was just his aura, his dark aura, dark mystery aura. And then that's why I kind of brought that into my personality when I got older and becoming like the kind of like stay in the shadows, stay in the background, don't like the limelight too much. And I let other people have their shine. I just want my recognition in the back. And that's pretty much it. Like Batman, you know? So I kind of picked that up from Undertaker and Batman himself, but it was that moment that made me into a wrestling fan. And seeing it in person versus on TV was a huge difference because when I watched it on TV, that's when you still get hooked in like that. But that's only because as a kid, your attention span slowly grows. But when you've been put in front of that big TV screen, they'd be like, hey, sit here and watch. It's right there to do, you know?
Yeah.
That was that key moment for me, to be honest.
So when did just being a wrestling fan wasn't enough and you decided to become a podcaster?
Well, fun fact, in the very beginning, I didn't want to be a podcaster. I always want to be a wrestler. And to this day, I have a I have a little piece of mail. Back in the 7th grade, we had to do a school assignment of what we wanted to do when we grow up. I always said I always want to be a wrestler, of course, because it was like around at the same time as Brock Lesnar was just coming in. You know, the whole Renaissance, the ruthless aggression thing was starting to coming into the fold. Um, my school teacher at the time, Miss Sparrow, she went online and found the Killer Kowalski School and gave me like different programs for like different summer schools that I can go that I can take if I really want to take this thing serious later on down the line. Um, but I was just thinking, but I was on this thing, just thinking to myself, my uncle wouldn't go for it. My uncle was always wanted me to get into sports, but he wanted me to get into football, particularly that first, because you know, when you get into the big leagues, you're making big money. You
Right.
know, you can be able to feed your family, stuff like that. It wasn't like going for my goal at that time period. So I thought about it. I didn't like how the outcome was going to be, so I shelved it. Just was a wrestling fan throughout my years. When I hit college, I saw everything about it again, but then my mother passed away. So I automatically threw that out the window. I was like, nah, that's not going to happen anymore. And went to college. Things didn't work out, that type of stuff later on down the line. Um, COVID was about to strike, or COVID had just struck when this podcasting I started coming to fruition because of when I used to work at the registry of motor vehicles on my computer screen on another tablet. I would have be on YouTube, either listening to um something to wrestle with, um the Talking Jericho podcast, Stone Cold podcast, Jim Cornette's podcast. Something that gets me throughout the day. So as
Right.
I'm figuring out, as I'm hearing, as I'm watching that product at that time period, I'm hearing from them what's going on, what they think, and that type of stuff. And that's when I started getting at the bug. I'm like, how do you really do this? Like, how do you really go and just be able to just do this type of thing and then just go willy nilly, whatever the hell that it is. It didn't come to later on to when the app called Anchor now is Spotify for creators now. Um, used to be active, and that was when I found it. I caught the bug for the very first time when I did my first episode, and it just settled in ever since. Throughout the duration of what's today's date? About to be 6 years in like little under 2 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've been active for almost 6 years. So for 6 long years, through the ups and downs of wrestling, professional wrestling, independent wrestling itself, we had a love for wrestling. So we came together and built this group. And because of my uncle Mike, God rest his soul. I was a Sopranos fan because of him, and that's how I got in built the whole mafia tree the way that it is, to how we established ourselves called the Palm Mob. That was inspired by the infamous Ma Deep. So rest in peace to Prodigy, because if it wasn't for that, I would have never even came up with the infamous Palm Mob thing and kind of stuck with that. And that's how the Palm Mob was formed. Dukes, Fats, Maverick, Mike, Char, Binky, Lady B, Eric, Stacy Drea, almost Warren, who's in the chat right now. I know he's probably going to scorch at me if I did shout out his name. But he's been gone for 2 seasons. So I don't know when the hell he's really going to come back. But without them, I think this whole Palm Mob thing will not be the way that it is today. And it still stands because of that foundation of family, loyalty, and more importantly, wrestling.
So, all right. So you decided I'm about to do this.
He's right about that comment too. We were the brand ambassadors of that anchor at that time, because we were going at that time period. We were going non-stop. We was going non-stop every day. We did a podcast every day. Because we had to stay at home. We couldn't do anything. So
Right.
What else are you really gonna do? Yeah, every day, boom, 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 boom. We had like 100 episodes and maybe like under like 3 months. How the hell you squeeze that shit in? We did like 2 or 3 in one day, just so we got all that energy out. And that's how it kind of burnt us out at first. And then we didn't realize we gotta take a break. We gotta be able to be like, yo, stop right there. This is the last episode. Let's go take a break for like a couple of months. Come back refreshed. See what happens on the outside. That's us going underground. And BC, like, I don't want to hear shit about wrestling for 2 months. When I resurface from the ground, what the fuck did I miss? So I can catch up. And then once I count up, I'll be like, okay, this is going to lead to this. This is going to lead to this. This is going to lead to this. Whatever. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, still got my wrestling mindset still intact. So, so that was a fun fact right there about that last comment. So yeah.
So with that being said, when y'all decided to do this, did you already have this plan in mind, or did it just happen naturally that you're like, okay, we're doing this, but then you can go over here and do this and we can have this? How did that come about, really?
Well, at the very beginning, we were rabid. We were every fucking day. Like I said in the last question, we was going out every day. But then we realized, I realized, I'm like, wait, when is there a stopping period? Where's the period where we gotta be, okay, stop it here. Let's take a break and let's worry about the next season, because some people have outside lives that may take a lot of people away and be like, yo, I gotta step back from the pod to deal with some family issues. Yo, go ahead and do it. Once we started dwindling down that number, I was like, okay, we gotta stop, like right in there on the spot. And so that's when because me being as a TV buff and shit like that, I was like, no, let's just break it down into seasons like it's television. That's so much easier. You get a number of episodes per season, so which means we know that we're occupied between this time. But when it's that season finale show, oh no, we're done for X amount of time to when we come back. And that gives us time to deal with whatever shit we got to deal with on the side. Maybe we have to put some things to the side that we haven't gotten to. Like for me, for instance, I fucking caught up with fucking 2 fucking tax returns that I haven't even done in 2 years. So at this time, during the season finale and during the break, gave me time to actually fill in some holes that I didn't fill in when this was active and when SNW was active. So that helps us too. But then later on, when the Wrestling Asylum and Black Arts Angels came into the bout, I really was like, okay, no, let's make this into like an actual network type of feel where we have to do season premiere, season finale shows, because we want the people to know we're human. We got outside lives too. Wrestling's 24/7, but not us. Because once we're gone, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Wrestling is still going to keep going no matter what the fuck, who stays, who goes, who lives, and who dies. And I always had to just remind myself that. I was like, don't become a slave to the industry. That's why I've been seeing tons of fucking podcasters every day streaming, every day doing watch alongs. Shout out to Dre, bro. And I'm sorry, but unless you got the time in the fucking world to do it, go nuts. But if you don't, you gotta balance out your outside life along with this. You gotta have a balance with, I'm saying, when it comes to it. So I had to create that balance for everybody because we all were human beings. We all have outside lives. We all have kids, outside responsibilities, that type of shit. So that can get in the way sometimes. So I had to create that balance.
Right.
And while I think maybe by like season 5, season 6, I started really pushing the season breaks and finales. So after like that 4th season, I was like, okay, let's start breaking this thing down. Boom, boom, boom. And start making each season feel like an evolution, like we're evolving because we're getting older ourselves in real life time. So I wanted to kind of give that development and growth into each season that each show does. And to where we have right now, the Mob Man show went through like 3 different metamorphoses, but I think this guy was like our 13th season, 13, 14th season for us guys. The girls, this is just their 6th right now. Eric, the Wrestling Asylum, I think this is like his 8th season. So we've been through the ups and downs and shit like that to try and get things organized to where we all can follow the same guidelines and it's going to help all of us.
So with that being said, what, and it's going to sound like a silly question, especially after what you said, but what makes your all's podcast different from any other?
No, that's not a silly question. That's more of a tough question because everyone can talk about wrestling. Everyone can feel like they're the top star in that class, in that group that knows their A's and B's and 1, 2, 3s and shit. But I think when it comes to us, we're for some people that do not know, some of us grew up with each other. I grew up with Dukes and I grew up with Maverick throughout high school. Uncle Fats and Dukes are family. So that's automatically that entertainment right there. They all been lifelong wrestling fans themselves. They always wanted to come. It's like in our background, in our neighborhood, how we grew up, wrestling wasn't fun. Wrestling wasn't a thing that you can talk about like that unless it was like the Attitude Era. But anything afterwards, they still shun you for that shit. So we had to kind of like come together like small little like groups and be able to talk about wrestling openly and freely. So when it came to this podcasting and shit, instead of us having to go out and buy like tons of fucking equipment, spend thousands of fucking dollars, we was able to do it through our phone. So it was just easier. And then eventually it grew to where we had to start doing laptops. We had to start having a gigabyte drive just in case, God fucking forbid, my footage gets lost, and so forth. But for us, we came together as like the land of misfit toys. And we just gelled. It was like we created our own ECW, but it was just OTTR, followed the mob standards and shit. And let me just say this: if someone gets the fuck attacked, we all jump in the fucking any beef that happens. There's one podcast in fucking particular that's no longer standing because of us. I'm not trying to take the glory from that. I mean, I'm not proud about how everything unraveled, but it is what it is. Just having that camaraderie, and more importantly, behind the scenes, we actually look after one another. We actually really take care and take care of each other, especially when someone's going through some personal issues. We be right there and be like, here's my number. I can come see you right now if you need me to, vice versa. We really take that time to really be there for one another, especially when someone is down and out. We be there to be kind of like walking through the landmines and, trying to tell them that it's going to be okay. Like, I mean, you're not by yourself. And when you're by yourself, you should be worried because you're going to think about it 24/7. But when you're around people that trust you as much as you trust them, show them the way. And that's why I like to be presented. And that's what I do for a lot of these people, a lot of the mob members. Each and every one of y'all, they know how the fuck I feel about them. And they reciprocate that to everyone else. And we kind of like really gel together. Like it was us against everybody. Like if you didn't want to come work with us, fuck you. Too bad. You probably missed out on a good ass episode. vice versa. You know, just we live and breathe for each other, and we live in that foxhole together. And I think that's what sets us completely different. And more importantly, there may be some shit that we say that may be off the fucking chain. That is off the fucking wall. For damn sure. I'm going to just give one prime example, and then we're going to move on from that. Deuces declared Mr. Lotion for a reason. And that reason is, before when he was fat, he had different holes on his tablet, which if you were a young-minded person like me, but in your head you just got lazy and then you just don't want to close your fucking tablets, you can see everything.
Right.
There's a few tablets that was there I should not be seeing. So I would normally would say, well, he dubbed himself that Mr. Lucian shit. We didn't create that. He created that for himself, and it stuck, and that's where it went off the fucking walls. And ever since to this very day, when you're cracking jokes with him, you guys say Mr. Lotion to his ass. And he probably might actually pull out the fucking lotion on his ass. So just because of that, I think we set the tone of, yo, these motherfuckers is fucking ridiculous, but they're funny as fuck. But it's all within that combine. It's never going outside of that shit.
Right.
And that was when we started noticing, okay, people are identifying with us. They identify with dudes because of this. They identify with Warren because of this. They identify with Mike because his hatred for Hangman Adam Page. Big Uncle Fast because his love for Nia fucking Jackson shit. Like, you know, you have different people that's now known to have a personality.
Right.
And that was when you start to care for the individuals, not just for me, care for them. Because these are the ones I need to come be in here every fucking week with me to do this damn thing. You know what I'm saying? So I like to present that when it comes to everyone. To give everyone their shine, to get everyone to feel like, no, this is your show. I'm just helping you run the goddamn fucking thing behind the scenes and giving you guys tips of what to do, what not to do, what things may change, blah, blah, blah.
So with that being said, do you and you already said that you rather be in the background.
Now I do, yes. Now I do. Now I do. I rather been more in the beginning. Yeah, I had to admit I was more in the front ground because it was my baby. But then again, with the group started getting bigger and shit, it's not about me anymore. It's about them. And I was just like, how are we going to do this? And I thought about the whole WWE draft style that they did back in 2002 with Raw and SmackDown. But instead, I was just like, nah, just the Barman over here, the girls over here, Wrestling Asylum is over there. 3 different shows, three different personalities, but it's all under the same umbrella. It's all talking about one particular thing, wrestling. And you got the different feels. So you want a grown man talk, you go over to the Barman show. You want to hear from the women of the Paul Mob, you go to the women. You want to deal with the psychopaths, you go to Eric and Nick.
And I like that because, like you said, you have so many different people that like certain things, so it continues to bring in viewers. It doesn't shun anybody for being different, and like you said, it's all under the same umbrella. Everybody eats together. So
yep, exactly.
So looking back now, almost 6 years of what you created, what's the first thought that comes to mind when you think about where you are at right now?
I mean, there's still some tendencies that I haven't shunned away. I still could be a repulsive, angrily person, but now I'm more balanced and being able to have patience with certain things, but also to be able to give effective critical decisions when the timing is right and when the time is necessary. But also I just think being able just sometimes when it comes to me, I guess I kind of like to have like the last laugh when it comes to certain things. I need to let that shit go. And I should just let them just be like, yo, let one of them get the last laugh or the last word. I will not say much. Just fall back. You know your place. You know what you do. You know what you put into this thing. You share the platform, but everything behind the scenes, That's you right there. No, nobody else even touches, come close to what the hell that you're capable of. Remember that. So I always say, okay, I don't want what they are feasting on right now. When I have a plate already in the back that has my name on it. So I'm like, you know what? That's them. I got my own joint in the back. I'm all set. So whatever happens, it's still gotta go through me regardless. And I got to be the one to bring it out to them about what's going to transpire and what's going to unfold and what changes are going to be different because of that. So yeah, just being able to fall back and just being able to say, I just don't want what everyone else wants. I don't want the spotlight, to be honest. I'd rather be Batman, be behind the scenes and underneath the fucking tunnels. Y'all can be the Superman going to save the day, being on the fucking newspapers. I just want my quiet check behind the fucking scenes that I can eat. That's that. I'm happy with that.
Um, do you think after everything that's gone on, all the success, all the what's a good word? All the stoppage, just not with everything. Do you feel like this was what you wanted to create, or it became bigger than you could even imagine?
I still think it can go bigger, but it's just waiting your turn. And more importantly, there's thousands of other wrestling podcasts that's out there right now that's probably doing something different than what we're doing, that's thinking outside the box or what the fuck they're doing, has more resources that we may have, that is probably getting them to to a different level, a different platform, going out a different lane for what others are trying to do. I think for me, it's what it comes to us. I just don't want to be the one knocking on people's doors trying to gain opportunities. I rather for the opportunities to come to us, to be like, you wanted us. I don't want to be the one knocking on the door, being like, damn, trying to get some fucking opportunity, trying to be like that. I don't want it to be like we're begging for it. I want it to be earned and be able to say, okay, we can build with you guys. Let's see what we can brainstorm to do that we can both get what the fuck that we want. So patience is key when it comes to a lot of this, but because of this, we got in the door when it comes to a wrestling promotion. So I can honestly say that's the biggest flex I think anyone can really do, to really be honest. And it's big shout out to Dukes too, because he was a liaison when it came to that whole ordeal in the first place. So if it wasn't for him, we would have never been in the wrestling industry till this day, going on 2 years as in March. So we gotta be proud of ourselves that we actually took a dying promotion and we're giving it new blood, new life again. And we're giving it discipline behind the fucking scenes to where you are accountable for your shit. And if you are not gonna be working here like that. And that's me bringing that into that backstage, that locker room, because me being as a black guy, especially in the wrestling fucking industry, we're already being shunned already as is, because you never took a bump in the ring, you never did this, you never did that, you just another fucking Tony Khan. I'm a Tony Khan with no money, that's putting his hard work money into this company so it can be better, so we actually generate some shit, so I don't have to do it anymore. That's the part that people don't fucking understand, and that's what grinds my gears about all this shit. And I've been dealing with that for like the past year. But I stride, whatever. But I just said, if you have, let me just say this, Professor. Remember in the very beginning when you asked me and I told you about that wrestling camp thing?
Yeah.
I thought about that when I was making that decision about getting involved in the company, and I said, well, you're not going to get in the wrestling ring, and you still have that love and joy for wrestling, but this is now your chance to really be a black human figure behind the fucking scenes. That, let me just say this out loud, there's white people behind the motherfucking scenes, folks, and there's a lot of fucking marks that are silent that are probably the same motherfucking color too. Let's just be honest. SNW is a mom and pop fucking promotion that we are going through hell high or brimstone to revamp what was dying and we're bringing in new motherfucking life into the mix inside of Massachusetts. And that's something I can actually be fucking proud of, despite the ups and downs and shit. Despite about the ins and outs of the politics and everything else like that. I'm just like, okay, if that's going to happen, we need to bring the street into this. Because if we do, they're not going to put a finger on us. And then all that chit chatting, doing all of this posting and shit like that, but nah, here's my address. Come and see me. It was really that fucking deep. But I bet you that's not gonna fucking happen. And that's why some people get petrified of that. Oh, he's not one of those. You're damn fucking right that he's not. And you're not gonna treat anyone of my locker room, my staff, or my business partner like that. So honestly, I walk with pride when it comes to this whole S&W thing. Like, this is really my baby. When it comes to later on down like the life, it will be my baby. So I gotta be like the Terminator 2 fucking ending and shit like that. If I gotta be going down that fucking acid fucking pile and shit like that with my thumbs up, that's how I'm going.
I think that there's a lot of times that, and I'm just going to say it, that podcasters have very great ideas, and that sometimes you get involved with companies that they love your ideas, but as soon as you give them something good, they kind of want to push you aside and take credit for it. And it's like, man, look, you wouldn't be where you are. Look, show me respect through ups, downs, bad, whatever. Show me respect as I show you. I don't get it. And it's like, man, look, I could, like you said, we can be asses, we can go to a whole different level, but fuck, we too old for that shit, and people should know better. Like, man,
it's arrogance and ego. That's the realistic problem. It's arrogance and ego. If people feel like we bringing you in to help us, but I want to take the credit, then I don't want nothing to do with this. Then if this thing, so say like if a match type, if I create a match type for a promotion, right? It works. It's like the first time it works, we're gonna keep doing it, something like that. And when they ask whose idea was it, the owner is gonna say him. I look at you and be like, no, you better point the finger right the fuck over here. Because you didn't think like that. You gave me the thumbs up, but I'm the one who sat here and sketched these whole fucking ideas out in a notebook. I have the concrete evidence in a notepad of me scribbling, dibbling about different match types, how how would this work, and blah blah blah, and all this shit to create the science behind that match. That's not right. That's like basically cheating on your homework and trying to pass it in and thinking that you did the work.
Right.
The fuck is that?
And I'm gonna say this. As much as and honestly, I love what I've been doing this month. I think there's been too many podcasters that don't hear they're good. You're doing great. You're doing something that helped. It took me a while to figure this out because I'm laid back, and people had to tell me this and me think it over. But we bring so much into wrestling, not just the rumors. We help, like you said, we help a lot of smaller promotions with their fans, different aspects.
Say getting the word out there, promoting this stuff to be, go see this show.
Right.
You're saying that you are in town. This is what these independent podcasters like us are essential for when it comes to these fucking promotions, pumping the word out. Because otherwise, you gotta do what a raggedy ass street team. They gotta be out there in the street posting out fucking flyers and shit, and then you might never know what the hell that could happen within like a day or two.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to think now. Again, there's great things to learn from the past. I'm not saying that. And there's certain things you keep from the past because the way the business goes. But also, you got to learn to evolve. You can't keep making money doing the same stuff. I mean, you can't. Eventually, you're going to burn out the fans, and you got to learn how to bring in new fans. So, with all that being said, podcasters, there are different types of podcasters. Myself, I think I'm funny. I can be funny. I can be serious. I can be knowledgeable. It depends on who my guest is and where we go with the conversation.
Word. Right.
Then there are some podcasters, they are just strictly by the book, A, B, C, D. And I ain't hating on that. That's their style. If they like it, as my father used to tell me as a kid, you like it, I love it. So, and again, I think that we as podcasters also have to break that stigma that podcasters can't work together because we all competing. No, it's like shit. I want you to get.
But
where
that's
you
a sad.
go.
But that's a sad part, Professor. As much I would like to agree with that, though, there are podcasters that would love to work with anybody, but there's other podcasters that will be giving like the third burn degree to be like, well, you're beneath us because of our stature, what we've been doing, and blah blah blah. I'm like, you had to do what we had to do too, right? It's all about giving the fuck back. But some of them are too arrogant to do that. Some of them were not mature enough to do it so early that they didn't find out like much later on. I'm like, damn, I passed out an opportunity to work with this person, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if that door opens up. But others are completely just headstrong and shit like that. They don't want to work with no one. They know what the fuck that they're doing. They're relying on their resources to get bigger people and shit, and that's how they're going to just go by it. They just want to just nothing with it.
Right, but and I was gonna bring up this point
because honestly, that was us in the very beginning. That was us in like the very beginning. We was working with everybody: Warren, Dre, you, Robert Tears, how many other people? Shout out to Maddie, Top Row Squishy, this Matt other podcasters that like we worked with. But then when we was like coming back, knocking on the door, it was like, yo, you want to come collaborate with us? You know what I'm saying? We thought about this would be a good idea. No answer. Just read, just seen. Nothing. No follow back. Like you didn't even exist in a world. I'm like, yo, at least what you can do is either say yes or no. Like I just wanted an answer.
You know what?
Like if you're gonna leave me on red, that's like a smack to my face. And that's when I start getting pissed off. Now I'm in my feelings. Because now I'm like, yo, I'm trying to come to you on a business tip and on a friendship note. And I get double smacked when you do something like that, but then when they come knock on your door, oh, you have to do it, because you don't want to get that bad perception of yourself. Oh, this person, I reached out to him, this person didn't want to work with me, whatever, all social media shit, the smoke and mirrors of social media shit like that can make someone go against you because of some bullshit, and then we know the whole fucking story behind the scenes. That's how you got mad. These people just ignorant as fuck and just don't want to work with it. Just don't want to work with each other.
It's funny that you said that because I was talking to my wife actually about some stuff, and of course, like you said, you get into your feelings about stuff. And my whole thing is this: no matter what, I try to be a professional. If I can't make a show, I try to let you know. I try to let you know why I can't make it, so you'll understand. Again, everybody has life. Things come up. I understand that. And I have no problem. If you don't want to do my show, great. You don't have to. But have the professionalism to say, I don't want to do it, or thank you, but no thanks. That's all
that we look for. Just say yes or no. We can't do this right now. We've been you'll see that we're either like too busy. Some people are going through issues right now, whatever, blah 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 blah, that type of stuff. I would respect that, but not just be leave on fucking scene like that's some bitch shit. Well, I start getting pissed off and be like, yo, now when the shit is on the other motherfucking foot, I'd be like, Nah, then I'll pull up a screenshot and be like, "You remember this?"
Well,
Like, this is what happens when you don't want to answer people back. Now they don't want to work with you.
well, here's my big thing too. I don't I don't care if you don't want to work with me. That's fine. Just you wasting my time. My time is my money, and you didn't want to do a spot, so I've made plans for you. I could have had 3 or 4 other people take that spot that was wanting to come on my show. Don't f my time up. And if you do, again, I'm to the point now. I'm 52 years old. I'm mature. I ain't got time to play games. I'm not about to get into any beefs, none of that shit. If you don't do it, don't do it. Cool. God bless you, and hopefully you get everything in life you're supposed to. I'm not tripping anymore. But what I can do, and what I plan on doing is showing love to podcasters out there that are willing to work with me, even if you don't work with me. If you just happen to catch one of my podcasts, you laugh and want to say, "Hey, you're doing good," I appreciate that. I like to do that for a lot of people. I don't mind all this negative. The world is already too damn negative as it is. I'm not about to play those games. And again, we all human. So sometimes, yeah, I get in my feelings and I think, man, I'm gonna check him, I'm gonna blow them up. Then I thought, what good is that? That's a waste of my time and energy. And I'm not gonna get anything out of that.
All right.
Man, I show love to the people who want to have that love. And if you don't, God bless you.
Right. Can't beg for it. Can't beg for it, man. No, it ain't meant for me. I don't want it.
Exactly. And
if it ain't meant for me, I don't want
it. And again, one of the things, I'm not going to call this person out, but they reached out to me. They were supposed to do it this week. They had a personal issue. I immediately told them, no problem. Thank you for letting me know. We'll reschedule. However, and what me saying all that, the point I'm trying to bring is they were being professional. Some people, it's a game for them. When I come on here, I want to be the best professional person I can be. I represent something. When you see the WSN brand, I want you to know that brand does business.
Yep.
I want that respect. I don't want you to be like, oh, well, every time you do him, he don't show up or whatever. No, it's not just about me. It's about my family, my brand. WSN is my family. And I would rather you cuss me out than say a bad word about WSN, because you're quicker to get me to act up if you say something about WSN. So
yeah, and that's how we feel about OTTR as well. We don't stand for that, you know. We respect the brand. We gonna protect this brand, and anyone got shots at either one of us, the other 14 motherfuckers is gonna come in to play that defense and be like, "Yo, what's the word? What's going on?" And that's how we're gonna play it and be like, "Yo, oh shit!" I'm like, "Yeah, you have a whole army looking for you, but yo, what's the beef about?" If there ain't no beef, then why the fuck are you trying to pick a fight with someone? You know, so I think it's just like, I think that some podcasters, they don't understand behind these screens, behind this light, behind all this shit, you might never fucking know what the person is capable of behind the goddamn scenes.
Exactly. Again, it's so unnecessary. It just unnecessary.
Yeah.
But with that being said, what is necessary is me giving you and your team the props and love that y'all deserve. I'm a big believer in people need to get their flowers while they can enjoy them and smell them. You've been doing such amazing work. Like I said, you gave me a shot when you knew nothing about me. And I always appreciated that. I always try to give back to people when they give to me. It may not be the exact way, but I always try to be. I try to be a man of my word. Like everybody else, I'm human. Sometimes I fall down, but I will apologize. I will try to make it right. And that's my whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's
with
real.
that being said, I want to thank you for what you've been doing. I thank you for keeping your team tight. I thank you for thinking not outside the box because you recognize there's not one style of wrestling fans, there are many, and you wanted to serve more than just regular fans. And I want to again thank you for that. Thank you for all the hard work. And thank you for being understanding that sometimes you need a break and have to do what you have to do for yourself to be ready to give the best you can to your fans. So thank you so very much, my brother.
Thank you, man. But I can't give that back. I gotta give that back to you too for giving a lot of other people their chances to come on here to talk about their stuff too. You know, you definitely open up the door to a lot of us here, especially for SNW too. I can't thank you enough for actually wanting to get involved in that. So, you know, I gotta give you 1,000 thank yous, millions of thank yous for, you know, what you and Brady try to do for a lot of content creators, a lot of promotions, a lot of podcasters and stuff like that, including us. Man, I mean, I never would have just imagined meeting people that I never met in person that would do far more for you than what a person that you've been in front of their faces for over 20 years have done. You know, that's something I can't forget more than anything in the world. And there's mad people from you, the Warren and the Dre that, you know, I haven't met y'all face to face and actually shook y'all hand and shit like that. But throughout these years, I grew and connected with y'all more than what I did with any person I ever met in person. And that's real. So I just want to give you your flowers back too, homie.
Man, I appreciate that. I really do.
Real shit.
Man, guys, girls, thank you so much for joining us around the campfire. Now, let me also say this, guys and girls, because I know you heard my man talking about the promotion. The reason why we didn't dive deep into it, because we're going to be back next month, because I'm having a promotion appreciation month. So we stayed clear, but you come back next month, you're going to find out all about that promotion. We're going to get into it. And with that being said, as I always love to end off my podcast, I always tell y'all, please support your local indie wrestling.
Damn right.
I cannot express enough that these guys and girls bust their ass for the love of the sport. And you never, ever know who you see in your local promotion that may one day be the world heavyweight champion in WWE, AEW, just the main roster. So, and I say this too. I'm not saying indie is better. I'm not saying indie is worse. What I'm saying is if you want a good family atmosphere where you can take your family, actually meet and have conversation with the wrestlers and still leave with money in your pocket, man, check out your local indie show. I promise you, you're going to have some fun with that.
True words have never been spoken.
With that being said, I am Professor Bear. This has been a Bear's Thought, and we will catch you around the campfire again real soon. Thank y'all and have a blessed evening.
Thank you. Peace.